Okay, welcome to this week's Time Buster training series to inform you and inspire you on your fitness journey. So today we are speaking to Stefano. How are you doing, Stefano? You okay?
Very good, Stu. Thanks.
Excellent. So as you know by now, we are talking to inspirational people I've had the privilege to work with on their fitness journey, and Stefano is definitely one of those people. Time Buster trainers who are in our tribe and industry experts. So we've got 20 minutes. Before I forget to start the watch, I'm going to start. And Stefano, just explain to everybody who you are, what you do, and almost like where we met as well.
Yes, so I'm Stefano, I'm Italian, moved in UK 3 years ago. We met a couple of years ago at TEAM Bootcamp, and that was the beginning of my third phase in the fitness journey. I was thinking about this, and I believe I have 3 phases in my fitness journey. The first one was when I was 10 years old, I started to do martial art. I did karate. I continued until I was 32. So 22 years, big commitment, a lot of training. I did a lot of competition in different places, more than 1,000 actually combats. I stopped counting after 1,000. I wasn't a super champion, average level, but for me it was good. It was a good pace, a good discipline, and a good understanding of yourself, your limits. And that was the period where I was fit. Like I am now, by the way.
Yeah.
But we got that third phase. So I was fit. I was training. I was doing, and I had a balance between training and personal and professional life. Then I left Italy when I was 32, and I went to live abroad in Normandy, in France, in different places. And my professional life took the more priority, if you want. So I start to focus all my energy, convey all my energy and my passion into the business, this professional growth, and discovering the world, because the nature of the activity I did at the time was, and I'm still doing, by the way, with the exception of COVID, is to travel quite a lot extensively across Europe and the world. So I started my second phase of a non-fitness journey, where everything I learned before is start to evaporate. So I start to travel we plane all over the places, working many hours during weekends, also weekend. And so step by step, I start to accumulate weight, to replace those good habits with some addiction or not very good habits, like a drink every evening, dinner, social dinner, business lunch. And so when I left Italy, I think I was around 72 kilo. Sorry, what's that in pound? Well, our audience will know.
Yeah. I'd have to Google it.
I still thinking in kilogram. So I was around 72. And then after 15 years traveling and doing this kind of life, I arrived, in fact, at 100 kilos. I accumulated almost 30 kilos. And I was really, actually, there is a picture before and after. I don't know if you will.
Yes, I'm going to be sharing that. Yeah, you said you'd okay to share that. So yeah, people should be able to see that. So yeah, it's really impactful.
So one day, I always remember this. I always remember this picture. I was coming back in hotel in the evening after a very long day traveling across different places with plane, having dinner, having, of course, 2-3 beers as I used to, and then arrive, walking in front of the mirror to go to the shower, and I saw someone in the mirror. I say, "Who is that?" I couldn't recognize myself. And it was awful. It was an awful moment. This was many years ago, and since then my things was to not watch myself in the mirror anymore. Rather than pushing to change, it was avoiding that. So I've been really through a mental journey in that. So. And therefore I started to buy clothes that they were bigger and they were covering, and I refused to get in touch with that side of myself. This is until so first phase, very fit. Second phase, this life, which I enjoyed. I mean, I met my wife, I got married. It's been a fantastic period, but not a personal level, as me and my relation with my body, and me and my relation with my health, because in relationship with my health, because in this period I put a lot of weight. I start to do how do you call it, sleeping apnea. So they gave me a machine in the hospital in France. They gave me a machine. I for 3-4 years I had a sleeping machine every night, because I was a severe sleeping apnea with risk of heart attack. And so relatively young, 38, 39. Actually, I was a bit, I was more. I was 40, between 40 and 43. I had sleeping apnea. Still young, and something that I would never imagine 10 years before. So then 3 years ago, moved to UK in a job. I left that company, and in between that company and the company I'm working now, I was really at the bottom of me liking me in relation with myself. I was really the bottom. I couldn't go lower than that. I mean, yes, but that would have been even worse as a consequence. And so I decided to do something for myself. And I said, I want to take 3-4 weeks break in between the two companies. Never did that before, because I've never been so clever, despite the fact I changed many other companies in the past. And I searched online, and this is how I met you, by the way. Decided to do this 2-day residential at TEAM Bootcamp. I didn't know anyone, no one. I just searched online. I saw a lot of video comments, and then I felt that was the place with enough discipline and also a more holistic approach to people. And so I said, let's go. So I called. I remember speaking, I guess, with Paul over the phone, or exchanging mail, because I wanted to have my own, my own apartment, my own bathroom, a bit. And it was a very introspective journey. So for me, it was an important moment and so I did. And this is when the beginning of the third phase of my fitness first started. When I joined bootcamp, I was 100 kilos. I was 99.9 kilos. I am now 75 kilos. So I left. I lost 25. When I joined TEAM Bootcamp, I couldn't run more than a minute. I couldn't really do a lot. You saw me the second week.
Yeah.
And I was really old. When I left TEAM Bootcamp, I was completely broken, physically, mentally, but that was the right thing for me, because thanks to that, I could rebuild myself. I went to, I took to look after my injury to the knee, injury that I provoked to myself because I was trying to do everything that I could, which is part of the journey for someone. And
so many memories. Only we know.
And only we know. When you wake up in the morning, actually, you don't wake up in the morning. You just can't sleep the night because you're pain everywhere. Yes. So, and when I left TEAM Bootcamp, for a couple of weeks, I didn't do anything, but there was something new in me. There was I found again those. I realized that during those 15 years, I created so many excuses for not doing anything, for not looking myself in the mirror anymore. And what I learned in the bootcamp, at TEAM Bootcamp, I start to watch myself in the mirror anyway, but in the metaphor, again, but in a metaphor, meaning I start to get in contact with myself again and understand what really I needed and I wanted for me in that moment and for the future. And so then it started. Then I came back home, and I, in my business, we measure business performance. So the first things I did, I took one big flip chart, and I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 30. And I had lucky enough, we had a treadmill at home. So I started to walk 30 minutes. And every evening, I started to add 1 minute more running, 1 minute. So from the beginning, over the course of 30 minutes, I was able to run 2, 3, 4 minutes. And now, since then, I run half a marathon 3 times, 2 Spartan races. I've been to bootcamp many times I could, even just for the weekends. And I am a different person. I have this all the time with me.
Yes. Always the hydration, like it.
Yeah. Yes. We had the conversation, you and I, when we were there at TEAM Bootcamp, about what to do when I go back to work, and for nutritional and for fitness. And one of the thing was, this is not just the water; is a symbol. Is a powerful symbol, like the 3 apron that I bought for maintaining my journey in nutrition. So this symbol reminds me that I need to look after my needs, and therefore whenever I go, if it's not this one, I have something similar that reminds me I need to look after my needs. That's the most important thing. There is nothing else that is most important.
Yeah. And I did a post in the group a couple of weeks ago saying about having that mindset that your water bottle is your best friend. And I've gone through that journey of when I was working still in the RAF, I always had my water bottle with me because I was always all over the place. Whereas now I'm working from home, and lots of people can resonate with this, that now you're at home, I probably, without thinking about it, would have more cups of tea or get busy being busy and don't carry that around. So it's getting into that habit again in a different environment, which you said about really well. A couple of questions.
Please.
So I have several. And we could probably talk all day. But a couple of pinnacle ones that you mentioned, and I think it's a common thing that happens with people. So I just want you to share with me what this was like for you. So you had that moment, and it happened a lot at boot camp as well, but I know it happens everywhere, that you were really fit. And then when you start on your third phase, as you said, when you start, you've got that perspective of, I used to be really fit, and it can really knock people off their sort of kilter, and it can really stop people, because if they don't get instant results, they're like, I used to be really fit, so why can't I suddenly do it now? What was that like for you, for your mental, because I know that you are fully aware of the mental and physical aspects. What was that like as a battle?
It was the biggest struggle of my being at boot camp, wanted to have, and there is a specific moment where I made a change, and you remember boot camp, first day is the challenge day. And it's a challenge for everybody that doesn't know. It's a challenge mostly with yourself, not against the peer fellow campers. It's a challenge where you need to put yourself into the challenge. And the first challenge was, I don't remember the name. You remember that very steep hill?
Oh yes, is it Burpee Hill?
Yeah, Burpee or the sheep.
Yeah, Sheep Hill.
Yeah. Okay, that was the first.
That was an epic hill.
So amazing hill. It was raining. It was my knee was swollen like that, and everybody was running up and down, and I had a vest, and I could only walk. And the competition for me has been, so I had all the reflex of being competitive and the challenge, but that was really the moment where in fact I realized my journey was different. I was in a different place, and I was giving myself an objective which was too far away from what I could do. And so thanks to a moment of a good breakthrough with Reg, he saw I was in difficulties going up and down. He said, just go for a walk and come back. And during that walk, actually I had a very, very good moment with myself. And rather than putting me down or quit, I start to cry, because that's a reaction. I mean, you are no sugar, you eat it's all emotional too. Yeah. So I start to cry, and that was I let go everything, every pressure I was putting to myself for not succeeding straight away. And then my first objective coming back from that walk was, okay, let's try just to walk down once, and walk up, stopping maybe just 3 times rather than not succeeding. And I did it. And then I went for a walk. And then, step by step, I start to just walk up and down without stopping. And that was a massive success for me, after I realized that was what I could do at that moment. Because before, the pressure I was putting on me was why I cannot run like everybody does, and why I cannot be the first one or the best one.
Yeah.
So I don't know
if we compare ourselves with other people. And I've said this several times, and it's kind of becoming my thing, that your fitness journey is like your fingerprint. It's completely unique to you. Different people need different things at different times. So,
and that was really the realization for me. And then since then I stopped doing things. I mean, I only do, and I give myself challenging objective, but then, you know, in an achievable way. It will make no sense if I had decided 6 months ago to run a marathon without testing an alpha marathon first, would have been probably a bit. At my age, still, I'm not old, but it could be. So, yeah.
So we've got about 4 minutes left.
Oh, wow.
So I would like you to tell, I know you have because this is the story that I remember of you, okay? And we interviewed Taz on this show, on episode 2. And I know that you have this story of aprons.
Yes.
So could you tell us that story? Because I think it's amazing.
So when fitness journey goes through training and nutrition, and you can't just do training I learned again in bootcamp. You can't just do it unless you do professional level for 6 hours, 7 hours a day. That was not my case. So nutrition played and still play a massive important part of this fitness journey. So my risk was, I have new routines thanks to you guys at bootcamp, and I'm keeping. But then, how do I sustain this through time? And the sustaining of change is also something very interesting from a business standpoint. We can talk about in another platform. So, how to sustain change? And I thought I had this idea to buy 3 aprons. And to write. Actually, I do have one here. Can I show it?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Because actually, I thought it was going to. So I wrote on this 3 apron, 3 on the chest, 3 big number. The first big number was my first objective of weight after I left bootcamp. So when I left bootcamp, I was 92 kilos. I entered was 99. I was 92 when I left, and my first objective was 85. So I wrote 85 on this apron, and every day coming back at home from work, rather than putting everything, watching TV and not even thinking, I used to put the apron on, and the moment I was putting the apron on, I was anchoring myself to the objective. I want to feed. I want to eat something and not just to feed myself. And so I started to prepare food, and I find a lot of pleasure in preparing food again. And all natural things, all from the fridge or brought fresh, and it's been a great journey. So when I achieved 85 kilos, it was a few months after I myself, and I folded the 85 kilos apron, and actually I gave a present to a very good dear friend of mine, wishing that we go there too. Yeah, I gave this as a present, and then I put a second apron on, which was the 80 kilos, and then now it is already few months that I don't use it anymore because I achieved.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm creating a mess now. Apologies for that. This is my 75 kilo apron. You see, this is a white one. The other one they were.
I love that.
And this is still hanging on the door of the kitchen as a symbol to remind me that in the evening, when I feel a bit tired, stressed, the bottle of beer and the bread is not the solution. Is not even the solution why I feel in that way. And something healthy is something that is going to make me feel better, whatever is the problem I had during the day.
I think that's what I take from some of the stuff that we did together as well about that mindfulness. Like on recording this, it would have been 2 weeks ago now, but within our private group, Time Buster Trainers, we've done a mindful movement week, because everybody talks quite a lot about mindful eating, mindful consumption of food, water and substance, if you like. But it's a real big thing for me. I know the way you've talked today as well. It's that kind of thinking. And I remember having conversations with you about what life looks like now, about sitting down and eating. And actually, you're allowing your body to realize that you're eating. Because I think that was the thing with you on the move quite a lot. Things were happening and you weren't even aware of it.
And there is also something very important to you. I remember you texted me once, because we all after we all made, bad moments. We all fail. And I remember you saying, if I don't remember, to be honest, it was to me or to someone else in the group, and you say it's important what we 80% of what we do. If we have one night, that's not it's 20 minutes off.
That's 20 minutes, but go on, carry on a little bit. Go on.
And so the 80%, what it counts is the 80% of what we do. The guilty feeling can be much more dangerous than having one bad evening, and because the guilty feeling can generate a vicious cycle of your mindset, and then you stop training, or you train with not the right approach, and then you go again down the dark side.
It's the reset, isn't it? It's the reset and the realization. So awesome. So Stefano, that's gone quick, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So thank you very much. So as Stefano said, he gave us a good visual cue then. So if you're watching on our podcast, feel free. We have got this across 2 platforms, so you can watch us live or recorded on the YouTube channel, or you can listen to us on your podcast provider. So please make sure you subscribe and you like and you comment, and please share and pass it forward, because we really want to help people on their fitness journeys as well. So Stefano, thank you so much again for joining me. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, and thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.